Life can be unpredictable, and I just learned the real meaning of those words. The woman I thought loved me, the one I built my world around, suddenly wanted me out of her life. Hi, my name is Santiago, and I live in Florence, Italy. For 7 years, I poured my soul into our marriage. We weren't perfect, but I believed we had something real. We laughed over burnt pasta, danced barefoot in the kitchen, and dreamed of raising a family. But sometimes, dreams dissolve without warning. It was a rainy Sunday morning. I had just made us cappuccinos when Clara, my wife, dropped her bombshell. I need a break, Sandy, to figure myself out. No contact, she said, avoiding my eyes. My heart stopped. No contact, I echoed. She nodded slowly. Please, I'm not asking for a divorce. Just space. Time. I wanted to scream, to demand answers. But I saw the look in her eyes, cold, distant. So instead, I nodded. I told myself this was temporary. A phase. A storm we'd weather. She packed a suitcase and left that evening. I didn't sleep for days. I checked my phone like an addict. Nothing. No calls. No texts. Just silence. Weeks passed. I spiraled. I drank too much coffee. Stared at old pictures. Wondered what I did wrong. Then one night, while scrolling through Instagram, I saw a familiar face in my feed. Clara's mother had posted a photo. Family vacation. Sun, wine, laughter. But that wasn't what made my blood run cold. It was the man standing beside Clara. Marco, her high school lover. I zoomed in. His arm wrapped around her waist. Clara laughing, leaning into him like she used to lean into me. I clicked through the album, dozens of photos. Different angles. Different days. This wasn't a coincidence. This was calculated. I stared at the screen, heart thudding. The woman who asked for space was reliving old flames while I was drowning in heartbreak. That night, something snapped in me. No more waiting. No more hoping. I respected her journey, like she asked. So I boxed up every piece of her existence from our home. Clothes, shoes, keepsakes, even the damn toothbrush, and shipped them to her parents' house. I didn't leave a note. Then I opened Facebook, changed my relationship status to single, blocked her, deleted our wedding photos. And for the first time in weeks, I slept. 3 days later, she called. Her voice trembled. Santi, I think I'm ready to talk now. I took a deep breath. The storm in my chest was quiet now. But I wasn't the same man she had walked away from. I answered calmly, I'm not. But what she said next changed everything. Her voice was soft, unsure, like she was afraid I might hang up. Santi, I think I'm ready to talk now. I leaned back in my chair, staring out at the Florentine skyline. I used to wait for this call. Now it just felt late. I'm not, I replied calmly. Silence. Then, a small, shaky breath. I know I hurt you, but I needed time to think, to understand what I really wanted. I kept my voice even. And did you find those answers wrapped in Marco's arms during that little family vacation? She gasped. You saw those? I saw enough, I said. Enough to know that no contact was never about healing. It was about hiding. Santi, it wasn't like that, she said quickly. Marco just happened to be there. It wasn't planned. Right? I muttered. And your mom just happened to tag you in pictures with him every day of the week. Another pause. This time longer. I didn't mean for it to happen. I didn't expect the feelings to come back. But they did. And I needed to explore that before I could decide what I really wanted. I almost laughed. Explore? Like it's a vacation package? You left me twisting in the dark while you played emotional roulette with your ex. She sniffled. I didn't know how to explain it to you. No, you just didn't want to deal with the consequences, I snapped. You wanted the freedom to find yourself, without losing the comfort of knowing. I was still here, waiting. Santiago, please, she said, her voice breaking. I made a mistake. I thought I needed something else. But I realized. It's you. It's always been you. Now it was my turn to be silent. She thought this was a story of temporary detour, a mistake she could fix. But what she didn't understand was, I'd changed. Her absence taught me something. I deserved someone who didn't need to try others, just to appreciate me. I already shipped your things to your parents, I said quietly. You're free now, Clara. Completely. You don't mean that. I do. And I meant it when I changed my relationship status, too. You lost me when you made me an option. She began crying softly, the sound of regret filling the silence between us. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't hate her. But I couldn't save someone who willingly walked away from everything we built. I don't want Marco, she whispered. But you did, I replied. And that version of me, the man you left behind, is gone now. She tried to speak, but I ended the call. And that should have been the end. Closure. Clean. But 3 days later, I came home to find her car in my driveway. She was sitting on my front steps, holding something in her hands. And the look on her face told me, this wasn't over. When I pulled into the driveway, I froze. There she was, Clara, sitting on my front steps, knees pulled close to her chest like a child. In her hands was a small wooden box. Familiar. Painfully familiar. It was the memory box we had built together during our first year of marriage. Inside were letters we had written to our future selves, photos from our honeymoon in Positano, concert tickets, even the pebble she made me pick up from the beach, because she said it looked like a heart. And now, she was cradling it like it was the last piece of us. I didn't get out of the car right away. I just stared, watching her try to collect herself, wiping her eyes with shaky fingers. For a brief moment, I saw the woman I once loved, the one who used to kiss my forehead before I left for work, the one who promised forever. But promises don't mean much when they're followed by betrayal. I stepped out slowly. She stood up quickly, brushing her jeans, the box still in her hands. Santi, she said, please, just let me talk. No interruptions. Just 5 minutes. I folded my arms. Talk. She took a breath like she'd rehearsed this. I messed up. I got scared of how routine everything felt. I thought maybe I missed out on something by settling down so young. And when I saw Marco again, it felt like a second chance. But it wasn't real. It was nostalgia wearing perfume. I said nothing. I was stupid. I know that. I broke the one thing in my life that was real. You. Us. I thought you'd be here. When I came back. Waiting like always. But you weren't. And that's when it hit me. I was the one who left something. Irreplaceable. She opened the box and pulled out one of the letters. Hers. The envelope had a red ribbon around it. To Santiago. In case I forget how much I love you. She handed it to me. I didn't take it. I kept this box all this time, she said. Because deep down, I knew I'd need a reminder. Not of what we were, but what I lost when I walked away. I looked at the letter, then at her. You didn't lose me when you walked away, I said, voice calm. You lost me the moment you expected me to wait while you made me second place. Her eyes welled up again. I don't expect you to take me back, she whispered. But please tell me there's still a chance to fix what I broke. For a long moment, I said nothing. Then I stepped past her, unlocked the front door, and looked back. There's no we to fix, Clara. I stepped inside. But before I could close the door, she said something that stopped me cold. Santiago, I'm pregnant. I stood frozen at the door, my hand still on the knob. Those words echoed in my chest like a bell tolling at a funeral. I turned slowly. She looked terrified, not manipulative, not smug, just terrified. Her hands trembled against the wooden memory box still in her arms. Her eyes searched mine, desperate for something. Understanding. Maybe. Forgiveness. Hope. How far along? I asked flatly. Almost 8 weeks, she whispered. I found out after I got back from the trip. I clenched my jaw. That timeline. It lined up exactly with when she had asked for space. I narrowed my eyes. Is it mine? Her eyes widened with hurt. Yes, of course it is. Marco and I. We didn't. Sandy, I swear. We didn't do anything physical. It was emotional, but stupid and messy and, God, I know how that sounds. But I would never lie to you about something like this. The old version of me might have rushed to comfort her, might have believed the tears, accepted the promise, and offered to start over. But I wasn't that man anymore. You didn't lie, I said. You just chose silence when it suited you. Like tagging along with your ex and letting your mom post those vacation photos while I sat in the dark. She looked down at the memory box again. I wanted to tell you, but I was scared and ashamed. I kept trying to find the right moment. And when I finally worked up the courage, you had already let go. I stared at her, trying to feel something, anything. But all I felt was hollow. So what now? I asked. You want to use this baby to hit reset? Start over like nothing happened? No, she said quickly. I'm not asking you for anything. I'm keeping the baby, with or without your support. But I thought you deserved to know. Her voice cracked at the end, and I knew that part was true. She wasn't trying to win me back with this. She wasn't even begging. She was just broken, like I had been. I nodded once. Slowly. Thank you for telling me. She blinked, confused. That's it. I'll be involved, I said. If the child is mine, I won't disappear. But you and I? We're not a couple. We're not rebuilding anything. You burned that bridge the day you used figuring yourself out as an excuse to revisit the past. Tears streamed down her cheeks now, but I didn't soften. I wasn't being cruel, just clear. You're welcome to send me updates, I added. We'll do this the responsible way. But don't confuse co-parenting with reconciliation. I've found peace, Clara, and I don't plan on giving it up again. She nodded slowly, defeated, and turned to leave, still holding the box of memories, like it weighed more than her heart could handle. And as I watched her walk away, I realized something chilling. Sometimes the people who once made your world feel full return only to remind you how empty it was without your self-worth. Weeks passed. I didn't block Clara. I didn't ghost her. I didn't rage or vent online. I didn't need to. I had become someone who could choose peace without needing to prove a point. We met twice more, once for a doctor's appointment, and once to speak with a mediator about parenting agreements. Both times, she was soft-spoken and solemn, a far cry from the confident woman who once told me she needed space, while secretly rekindling flames with her high school past. The truth? I could see the regret in her every movement now. It clung to her like perfume that had long lost its sweetness. She didn't wear her ring anymore, not because she had taken it off, but because I had already made it clear there was no ring left to wear. One evening, after the appointment, she lingered in the parking lot beside her car. I had a dream last night, she said quietly. We were back in that little coastal cottage in Amalfi, the one with the cracked tiles and the creaky bed. You were cooking. I was reading. I nodded, arms folded. Sounds peaceful. She offered a faint smile. It was. And I woke up crying. I didn't respond. There was nothing left to say. She finally looked up at me and whispered, "You really aren't angry anymore, are you?" I shook my head. No, I was. But not anymore. Anger is a chain. And I cut it off the day I stopped waiting for you to choose me. She swallowed hard. I hope someone loves you like you deserve to be loved, Santiago, she said. And that was when I finally understood something important. Forgiveness doesn't always mean letting someone back into your life. Sometimes it's closing the door so you can open new ones. And I had. I started going out again, reconnected with old friends, took long drives through Tuscany, rediscovering the parts of Italy I had ignored while waiting by the phone. Even picked up painting again, something I hadn't touched since college. I wasn't chasing healing. I was healing, because peace doesn't knock loudly. It walks in when you stop holding space for chaos. I'm not bitter. I'm not broken. I'm just Santiago, the man who learned the hard way that love should never feel like you're begging to be chosen. And to the woman who once said, "I need space to find myself," I sincerely hope you do, because I found myself the moment you walked away. If you were in my shoes, would you have let her back in? If the woman who shattered your trust showed up on your doorstep, holding memories and regret, would you have listened? Would you have opened that door? If you were in my shoes, would you have believed her when she said the baby was yours? Would you have chosen to protect your peace? Or let hope convince you to try again? Sometimes love doesn't end in an explosion. Sometimes it ends in a whisper, when the silence grows louder than the promises ever did.